Our process is data-led, and for a number of reasons. Basically, a customer situation in each factory can be quite different. So it's important to understand that one size doesn't fit all. We're not trying to promote a particular product, which is just because we have to sell a product. The key is actually to try and find the right solution for the customer and to only recommend technology that is both suitable and of the right scale to benefit the customer's business. Our process basically starts with analyzing data from the customer, both energy consumption data, but also technical data like equipment that's actually consuming energy and understanding their electrical connections. We then, once we have an indicative project developed, we then will look at some more detailed integration issues with the factory, make sure that what we're proposing actually works and is robust and resilient for the factory. I think the number one priority needs to be that whatever we do in cooperation with the customer, it needs to be resilient, and the factory still has to operate effectively, just as effectively as before we would connect. So the key is around detailed collaboration, detailed engineering, and at all points checking suitability and acceptability of the solutions we're proposing. Yeah, so particularly with CHP, the key to CHP lies in using the heat that comes from the CHP. And fundamentally, there are two different grades of heat. There's heat that's over 300 degrees C, and then there's heat that's around sort of under about 110, 120 degrees C. So the key is trying to find technologies that can use that heat to reduce other fossil fuel usage basically by the client within their operations. In the particular case that you asked the question about, we managed to save a significant amount of gas by using heat to offset gas usage by integrating hot air basically into air handling units. And we also integrated heat into certain areas that actually allowed us to reduce the amount of electricity that was being consumed by certain machines as well, which resulted in a saving of electricity as well. All this is using waste heat. Just to reiterate that all of these systems, with all these solutions, the original systems remain active. And so when the CHP is operating, the savings are there. When the CHP is not operating, the site is still resilient and can operate as normal. We work mainly with very energy intensive sectors. So that's typically things like foods and plastics and chemical manufacturing. I think in all of those areas now, sustainability is becoming a really significant agenda item for them, as well as cost reduction. I mean, all of these sectors work in tight margin industries. And so actually any cost advantage they can secure through energy savings is really important, but particularly now, a lot of their customers and future investment is coming depending on CO2 performance as well. So that's really where we see it. I mean, energy intensive businesses are always interested in saving energy. And what we can do is bring some fresh ideas and approaches to those businesses that they may not have considered or may have ruled out because of payback issues previously. In recent years, the government has implemented a thing called SECR, which is streamlined energy and carbon reporting. And fundamentally what that does is it brings a statement into each company's annual report that discloses basically how they're performing from a CO2 and energy intensity perspective. We're already finding that a number of significant buyers, things like the supermarkets, are scrutinizing their suppliers based on their carbon performance, and is becoming a key factor in winning contracts and so on. So rather than flip the usual strategy, which is, let's follow the pack and let's all go down at the same pace. And we're seeing a lot of people talking about sort of 10-year targets and 20-year targets and so on. There has to be a significant competitive benefit from actually achieving it earlier than your competitors. So if you just imagine the situation, if you've got either net zero or the lowest CO2 footprint in your sector, how you would use that from a marketing point of view to secure more business, secure more contracts. And that's really what this comes down to. It's, there's a compliance issue out there, there's an expectation, but actually there's also a source of advantage that can be had by accelerating it and doing it earlier. So that's what we're aiming to try and support businesses with as well. We bring the capital to enable that to happen faster, and they take all the CO2 benefits. Yeah, we see AI has a significant role to play. We think, though, in a few years' time, AI is really where machines learn behavior or signs of things happening. So you see it sometimes in building management systems, which aren't AI particularly, but they're driven by a sensor or a set point to do certain actions. What AI systems can do is actually identify circumstances and learn how buildings react to different weather conditions or population conditions or production conditions, and actually preemptively set up the building to reduce energy based on those conditions or what it expects to happen. We see this going even further in years to come, but there's a trust issue that needs to be overcome for most businesses about whether they would actually allow a system like this to take control, say, of a production process, which is where the real savings opportunities will come. Ultimately, people are putting production processes in the hands of human beings in any case, who are more prone to failure and misjudgment than machines are. So, but there's a psychological issue, I think, in AI, but AI has a massive role to play going forward. We're going to try and make it as exciting as possible. Ultimately, it's about, you'll get to meet us. You'll hopefully engage with us. We're open to chat and discuss any particular situations where hopefully you'll find us innovative, forward thinking, and more particularly, we're business people fundamentally rather than energy people. So we've come at this from a business angle and understand the priority that energy you need to have in your business to keep yourself manufacturing. So yeah, come and chat. We're here to help.